Monday, it's Mrs. Oakes. I'm here to work through your comprehension today, which is some ELA practice with reading and writing. So grab your book and a pencil and let's get started. All right, so our comprehension package today, or passage today, is about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And I found this really great link, and I will share it on Dojo. And it just explains the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's got some good pictures, and I encourage you to go and read through this because it kind of gives you more information. So this is the size of what we're looking at, guys. This is a large part of our ocean. It's not a small, when you say patch, you think it's tiny. This is a large part of the ocean, okay? And when we read the passage, it'll explain this a little bit more, but that's a lot of garbage. If you think of that's between two continents, right? This is North America, this is Asia, and these big garbage patches are in between the two continents. They're quite large. Okay, and you can click through for other images to kind of show you this is what it looks like. This is the debris on top of the ocean. These are the microplastics. So plastics don't break down. They're not biodegradable. They just get smaller and smaller. So instead of going away, now there's just microplastics, these tiny plastics in the water. And again, you should definitely click through and look. Here's some examples of things they found in the garbage patch. These are things you might have used before. So there's like a toy here, part of a bottle of some sort. I don't know what that would be. A Batman costume, a toothbrush, so a little toy gun, a toy phone, and I'm guessing bits of just fishing nets. So think about the things you use every day that are plastic. They could end up in the garbage patch. It's just as easy. That's the kind of things that are there. So you could definitely go through and see some of the pictures. So there's some pictures of animals that have how they're affected. So you can see this turtle is all tangled up in the web. And this has a lot of really good information. So I highly recommend going and clicking through, doing some reading about this to see maybe how the Pacific Garbage Patch is affecting the world, okay? So definitely click through to that after you're done the comprehension video to deepen your understanding, okay? Do some reading about that if this is something that interests you. It's important to know about. All right, let's get started with our actual comprehension. All right, so the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, it says, as you read, picture the garbage patch in your mind. And I purposely showed you some pictures to help you with that because sometimes these passages don't give us all the information we need to picture it, to make a picture in our mind to help us. I'm just moving my light a little closer. Hopefully that helps with the shadows. Okay, so let's get started with reading it. So, in the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii, millions of tons of garbage swirl slowly in the water. The remains of bottles, plastic bags, fishing nets, and other items float gently around. This is the Pacific Garbage Patch, and it is a huge problem. The Pacific Garbage Patch is in a part of the ocean where water moves endlessly in a circle. Trash from thousands of miles away is pulled by ocean currents until it travels to this spot. So all around the ocean currents, it's kind of like the place where it all converges, like a whirlpool. It's all pulled into it, a giant whirlpool. Most of the garbage is plastic. This is because plastic doesn't break down easily. It can only break down into small pieces. These small pieces look like food to fish, birds, and other animals. When these animals eat the plastic instead of filling up on real food, they can become sick and starve to death because there's no nutritional value in plastic. Scientists worry that this ocean garbage will hurt more than just marine life. Eventually, sick animals can make their way into the human food supply. But right now, nobody is sure how to solve the problem. One thing that does work, though, is to recycle plastics or throw them away properly. Remember, if your soda bottle doesn't become litter in the first place, it won't get into the ocean. Okay, so that's what we just read, and it says underline words in the passage that describe the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So look here. And they don't mean that it's great, like, woohoo, it's awesome. They mean it's great as in it's so big. And if you just saw the beginning of the video where I showed you that map, that shows you how big it is. It's beyond imagination how big this patch of garbage is. Okay, so we're going to read the important, what describes it. Okay, they swirl slowly in the water. That's describing it to me, right? It's telling me what I might see. The remains of plastic bottles. Oh, that describes it. I can imagine those remains, just like the picture I showed you, and other items float gently around. And this is the Pacific Garbage Patch. It's a huge problem. The Pacific Garbage Patch is in a part of the ocean where water moves endlessly in a circle. So that kind of helps me imagine it. Trash from thousands of miles away is pulled by ocean current until it travels to this spot. Most of the garbage is plastic. That's an important thing to describe. This is because plastic doesn't break it down easily. Now, that's not describing, that's just explaining it, right? Describing and explaining, two different things. It can only break down into small pieces. These small pieces look like, we could say it looks like food to birds, fish, and other animals, because that's describing what it looks like. When these these animals eat the plastic, they can become sick. Scientists worry that this will hurt more than people. Okay, so this part is not really explaining what it looks like. Most of the describing is done up there. So describing, what it means to describe something is trying to paint a picture with your words, and we did some of this with descriptive writing back in September and October in our class, but you're trying to paint a picture with words. That's what describing means. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Read each question, fill in a bubble next to the correct answer. So what is the passage mostly about? So it's not mostly about things made of plastic, plastic in the ocean, how plastic breaks down, or reasons to recycle plastic. Okay, so I think the best answer is plastic in the ocean, right? Because it's talking about, I don't know why I put an X because that's our correct answer. It's talking about plastic in the ocean. That does include things made from plastic. They talk about how plastic breaks down and the reasons to recycle plastic. But the whole reason, what it's mostly about, is plastic in the ocean. All right, let's move on to number 2. Why do marine animals mistake plastic for food? So A, because plastic breaks down into smaller pieces. B, because plastic smells like food to the animals. C, because plastic carries pieces of food with it. Or D, because plastic provides animals with energy. So why do they mistake it for food? Well, if we go up here, we can read, it can only break down into small pieces. These small pieces look like food to birds, fish, and other animals. So even though it says here that it smells like food to them, it's actually, they mistake it for food because it's broken down into small pieces. Right? It's broken down into small pieces, and that's what their food might look like. It does not smell like food. They didn't say that. They didn't say that it carries pieces of food with it, and they definitely didn't say it provides them with energy. In fact, they said the opposite, right? It can hurt them because they're not getting real food. Okay, recycling helps the ocean because it turns plastics into food. No, that's not what recycling does. Recycling just recycles the plastics into something new. It provides jobs for scientists. That's not what the passage is saying. It keeps trash out of the ocean. Yeah, if it's recycled, it's not floating around in the ocean. It stops people from throwing plastics away. No, people throw plastics away every day. You'll probably throw some plastic away today too. So the best answer is it keeps trash out of the ocean, right? So imagine that this pen is going to get recycled. If it's been recycled and melted down into something new, this is a plastic pen, it's been recycled and melted down into something new, that something new is being used for useful things rather than just being garbage that's going to end up in the ocean. Okay, what are scientists worried about? Number 4, what are scientists worried about? Plastic makes the ocean ugly? No. Oh, it actually, you know what, instead of going through all this, let's just look because there's an actual sentence that answers our question. Scientists worry that this ocean garbage will hurt more than just marine life. So if we come down here, they're saying that plastic could eventually hurt people, right? Can the plastic makes it difficult to swim? Well, no. And the plastic is coming from Hawaii? No. They think that the plastic could eventually hurt people. And we know that because the wording of our question, what are they worried about? It actually says scientists worry. It tells you right out. Scientists worry. So I find those words. I know that that's what they're worried about. They worry that this ocean garbage will hurt more than just marine life. And then if I read on, it talks about how the animals can make their way into the human food supply. All right? Okay, so that is what, not a super uplifting topic of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, but that's our comprehension for today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have time, go check out some articles or videos about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's actually quite interesting, and it makes you think before you're going to throw away your plastic, right? What could I do with this plastic? Could I reuse it for something? Could I recycle it? How do I make sure it doesn't end up in the water supply? All right, that's comprehension. I'll see you tomorrow for more comprehension. Helped you with your comprehension. And I'll be back tomorrow with another one to help you through that too. So have a great rest of your day. With the rest of your day, if you are looking for some ELA practice, I posted some writing prompts on Dojo. So check them out and maybe do some writing today, something that you want to do. So pick something that you want to write about and then practice writing about it. All right. I will see you later. Bye.